Born on the 11th of May 1956 in the poverty-stricken West Kingston community of Bakowal, which later became known as Tivoli Gardens, Vivian Blake became one of the biggest crime boss the world has ever seen.
Teach them! Always make sure the message reach them!
Born in a poor family, Blake did well in school as a child and was awarded a scholarship to the prestigious St. George's College, where he saw how other kids were living. He recounted that he was the poorest student at the school, having to walk while other students were being dropped off by their parents in expensive cars who lived in mansions. He said he wanted to one day drive his kids to school also and lived in a mansion. At the age of 15, Blake met Jim Brown, who encouraged him to stay in school and wanted him to become a lawyer. But as fate would have it, they became the two most influential members of the infamous Shower Posse, locally and abroad. Blake was a good athlete, and he first traveled to New York as a member of a cricket team in 1973, but failed to return to Jamaica. He stayed in New York and over time established the American branch of the Shower Posse in Brooklyn. There are differing accounts of how the gang got its name. Many believed it was derived from a 1980 campaign speech by Edward Seaga of the Jamaica Labour Party, who promised showers of blessings in economic opportunity for Jamaicans. The gang was widely seen as aligned with Mr. Seaga's party. Another version contends that the name came from the way the gang would spray its victims with bullets. In the United States, Blake developed a marijuana and cocaine distribution network that spanned major cities from Miami to New York to Los Angeles and even reached as far as Anchorage in Alaska. A warrant for his arrest was first issued in 1988 after he and other members of the gang were accused of the November 1984 killing of 5 people in a Miami crack house. Blake was indicted in 1988 on 37 counts of racketeering and conspiracy by a Fort Lauderdale federal grand jury. This was after his former associate Charles Miller turned against him. Authorities linked him to 8 murders, 4 attempted murders, and said he smuggled more than 1,000 tons of cocaine. The proceeds were used to buy and ship weapons back to his supporters in Kingston, especially in Tivoli Gardens. After the indictment, Blake managed to avoid being arrested. He fled Broward, hopped on a cruise ship in Miami on the 3rd of December 1988, bound for Ocho in Jamaica. Blake was finally arrested in 1994 after an extradition warrant was issued for him by American law enforcement officials, which was challenged by Blake, a fight which would last for nearly 6 years. After fleeing to Jamaica and during the period spent fighting extradition, he established the Cactus nightclub, a bike rental agency in Ocho and a loans company. He, however, lost his fight against the extradition order after another arrest warrant was issued, and in 1999 he was extradited to Miami. As part of a deal to avoid trial and possibly spending the rest of his life in prison, he pleaded guilty to racketeering, criminal conspiracy, and drug possession, while admitting his leadership role in the gang. But what he never admitted to was his involvement in any murders. He was sentenced to 28 years, including time spent in Jamaican prison, by U.S. District Judge Norman Roger, but was released on parole after serving only 8 years of the sentence. After being released from prison, Blake was deported back to Jamaica in January of 2009. The founder of a cocaine smuggling gang, which United States prosecutors said was responsible for more than 1,400 drug-related killings in America during the 1980s, lived a quiet life on his return to Jamaica for some 14 months, during which time he started writing a screenplay about his life and the Shower Posse, which he founded in Brooklyn in the 1970s. Blake fell ill and was rushed to hospital, where he was admitted after suffering a heart attack. He died a day later on Sunday the 21st of March 2010. He was 53 years old. Blake died at the University Hospital of the West Indies, where he was taken after complaining of breathing problems. According to Blake's daughter, Dominique Blake, who is a Jamaican Olympian, her father had been suffering from kidney and diabetes-related issues. He was also receiving dialysis treatment leading up to his death. Blake's peaceful death in a Kingston hospital bed is a grim contrast to his life steeped in violence, much of it in South Florida. Despite the drugs, death, and political muscle that defined the Shower Posse, Blake, unlike many gang members, managed to die from natural causes. Besides his two children, Dwayne and Dominic, at the time of his death, Blake was survived by his wife, Valerie, and 4 grandchildren. Of note, his brother, Paul, was slain at his home in St. Andrew in November of 2009. Luckily for Blake, his crimes occurred prior to the adoption of the sentencing guidelines, and as a result, he served much less time than he would have had he been sentenced today, said Lee Stapleton, a Miami lawyer who prosecuted Blake when she was with the U.S. Attorney's Office. It sounds like a cliche to say this, but he was a very intelligent man, and it is a great pity that he did not use his intelligence for a legitimate purpose. The attorney added, Blake gained renewed notoriety in 2008 when BET broadcast an episode on the Shower Posse on its popular American gangster series.
Teach them! Hey, yo, hello! Send the message and make it reach them. It's teach them. Right here, Warlord representing.
Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment below. Remember to like and share the video. Don't forget to subscribe for more awesome content. Follow me on social media and check out the suggested videos on screen. This is Teach saying, until next time, walk good, my friends.